Today's episode is all about straightening the metal on the Chevy Equinox liftgate, and by the end of this series, you'll know everything you need to know to get a flawless finish like this. Howdy, howdy everyone, Chris here. Welcome back to Garage Noise, the channel that is dedicated to teaching you everything you need to know about paint and body repair. Whether you have a small repair or a full-blown restoration, we're going to give you the information you need to get that job done. We are going to be welding today, so we'll unhook the positive terminal on this battery. This is a safety precaution so we don't blow any airbags. I'll remove the emblem and then I'll grind the center of these dents. Now this is the clamp we're going to be using today. This is a Mo clamp. It has metal tabs that you weld onto the damage, the low part of the damage, and then you can slide those tabs into the clamp and easily pull that damage out. There's a few options for removing the dent in this liftgate. If you don't have a welder, you could push it out from the backside by removing the door panel and then getting a pry tool in there and removing the dent that way. In this case, we're going to use the Lincoln Handy Make, weld these tabs on, and then use a pulling tower to pull these dents out. This is the pulling tower I'm using here. I've got it tied down to the floor, and I'm using a simple ratchet strap to hook onto the Mo clamp to pull these dents out. Now, if you're interested in any of the tools or products I use, I will leave links in the description. So as I start to pull out the metal here, I'm going to look for crowns or high areas in the metal that I can tap down with my hammer. Okay, let me tap down. I got some pressure on this. Let's tap down some of these high spots. I have to pull this section here and then this body line here, tap this down, and we'll tap this down when we pull this section out here. Now I'll use the Mo clamp to pull out the top section. Now I've welded this tab closer to the lower body line so we get that pulled out first, and then we'll work on that upper body line. And you can see just a little bit of pressure on this. It doesn't take much, and this dent comes right out. Now I want to go ahead and tap down those crowns, being careful not to create any dents. So I gradually tap it down. You don't want to hit it in too far, and you don't want to pull it too far. I'll go ahead and grab a body hammer and a spoon, and we'll flatten out these crowns using that spoon. This will spread out the impact of the hammer and help flatten that crown out in a larger area. We're going to pull right here on this body line and tap down this crease right here. And this is looking much better. We got a little bit of a crown here, a little low spot here, and then we got to straighten out this body line. So when a dent is created, it's going to raise the metal around it. That's what we're doing. We're pulling out the metal and tapping down the high areas or the crowns. Now I'm going to go ahead and weld the tab on that body line, and then we'll pull it and tap down that crown as we pull. So as we pull out the center of this dent, we're going to tap down the crown, and that's going to help release that dent and get it back into shape. There we go. Now that I have the majority of the large dents out, we're going to go ahead and grind this metal and prepare it to use the G90E, which is a finish puller. That's going to pull out all the small minor dents. So it welds the tip onto the low areas, and then we can pull those out with a slide hammer or just pull them and tap down the crowns around it. You do have to attach a ground to it here. I'll continue pulling and shaping this metal until we get it straightened enough to prepare for body filler. If you appreciate this video and find it helpful, help support the channel by liking this video and leaving me a comment down below. So we got a dent right here. I'm just gonna grind this down. We're gonna pull it out with the G90E. I've already straightened this lower edge, but this is flat and it's got a dent right here. Now I'll use a hammer and a metal dolly. I'll put that metal dolly behind the panel as much as I can. I can't reach every area. And then I'll use the hammer to flatten out that metal just a little bit. And then we'll get this prepared for some body filler. Now I use my angle grinder and a 36 grit roll lock disc, and we're just going to clean up this metal a little bit, prepare it for some filler, and then what I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to feel over the entire repair area, and if there's any high areas, I'm just going to tap those down with my body hammer. Make sure it's low enough so when we apply the filler, we don't have any high spots, because that's what we want to avoid. I use my orbital sander and a piece of 80 grit sandpaper to prepare the paint around that repair area for filler. We want to get that nice and sanded with 80 grit scratches so that body filler will adhere to any areas that are on the paint. Here I just switched over to my 3-inch orbital sander with some 80 grit to get some of those tight areas that are hard to reach with the 6-inch. Coming up, we're going to talk all about body filler. I'm going to review this evercoat zgrip filler I've been using lately. I'm going to show you how to mix it, how to apply it, and I'm going to talk about an additive that's going to give you even smoother application of that filler. I'll share with you how to shape and block your repair and some crucial things you need to know in order to get the best results possible. For all that information, click on this video now. I appreciate each and every one of you watching, and we'll see you next time on Garage Noise.